I think I'll just go call on. I mean, you can, if you feel like answering the question, you can signify and unmute your mic and tell me what UX is all about.
Hello, good morning,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone.
Good morning.
UI design UI means user interface. So
Okay.
the user interface of any design is what the user can see and how it looks like, what they can see. Basically, that's what UI is.
Yeah, fantastic. That is, I mean, you're correct with that. Anyone want to try it again?
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, to
Hello.
add to what he said, UI comprises of shapes, colors, typographies, and all of that. So it's all about what the user can see design. Thank you.
All right, you're right, you're right. So anyone else want to try it out?
Hello.
Yes, yes. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning. When we are talking about UI, first and foremost, we're able to know that UI is user interference. So UI could mean is a strictly digital practice for creation of digital interference. When we are talking about that, we are talking about the axistical views or what, like like in a practical language, you're trying to say that when you go to a place to go and eat, when the woman is serving you food, when you first see the food, the way it looks like, that is called UI.
Yeah. So
Um, Sorry, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. What makes what is UI? Yeah, UI to me basically is okay, as we've all said, user interfaces. But then I think we by UI we're more concerned with how the user interface looks like to put to solve the product goal and how the interactions of the UI would be able to make the users achieve goals that we want them to achieve on the UI. So basically, UI would be us creating for us, it'd be us creating screens that are solving or putting in front of users the best and the most pleasant thing possible.
Oh, all right. That's you're right with that. So I'm just going to, I mean, give a summary of what everyone has been saying. So UI simply means user interface. UI is simply means the interact, I mean, the graphical part of what the users are going to interact with in a digital product. For example, now I feel oh, I know everyone is using WhatsApp. So buttons you are clicking, the navigation, the button you are clicking, the way you are typing, those things you are interacting with, those things are the UI, which is the user interface. These are the things you interact with. So I don't want to go into UX because it is strictly UI class. So UI simply means the graphical part of the thing you interact with in your digital product. So and what I mean by digital product is beyond your apps. It might be a machine. It can be maybe a car dashboard. So you being a UI designer doesn't mean you have to be restricted to maybe designing website alone, dashboards or mobile apps. You can actually design interface for machines. So there are, I mean, for example, now our Tesla as a company, they will have their own UI designer designing the interface of the car and all those things. So UI simply means the graphical part of what you interact with in your own digital product. So basically, that's what UI is all about. So I hope everyone got that.
Yes, please.
All right.
Yeah.
So can I continue? If you have any question on this, you can ask me before diving into another place. So UI, like I said, it's called user interface. It is the graphical part of what you interact with in your digital products. Yeah. So let me move to the next thing. So all right, so I'm just going to do a little brief introduction about me. My name is Abdurrahim Abdusabu, but I know it's long, but you can call me Abdul, but most people call me mouse mover. So because that's what I do for a living, I move mouse. I'm a product designer, currently working at Seed Global as a blockchain designer. So and also a design manager at Leo, it's an e-commerce company. So That's what I do. So let's dive into the topic. All right, so these are the topics we'll be talking about: design versus art, design inspiration and how to apply, quality of design, alignment, and I'm just going to stop at alignment because uh, I'm going to go into design principle itself and design elements. So according to the schedule that was given to me, I'm going to, these are the things given to me, but I'm going to go in details and make it practical enough so you'll be able to understand what it's all about. So uh, what is design itself? So can anyone answer that? What is design? What is design? What is design? Everyone, we hear about a lot of designers. I'm illustrator, product design, motion designer, blah, blah designer. So what is even design itself? Can anyone answer that?
Okay. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
By the word design, what is design? We basically say that design itself is a vague term. Something we are trying to say something that various things. It means various things to people. So we can actually say design itself is actually a visual plan of a design turnout of a project. So what you see, like the aftermath of what we are seeing, is what we known as design.
Yeah, all right, you're fine. I'm just going to hold that definition. I'm still going to give the summary of what design is all about, and thank you for that. So anyone want to try what design is all about? Can you give it a try?
Can you hear me?
Anyone?
Okay, good
Yes, I can
morning.
hear you clearly.
Design is just like the visual representation of something. That's like the best way I can define it.
Okay, okay. All right, you're right with that. So anyone again?
Good morning,
Yes.
everyone.
Hello. Oh God.
Design is like a concept of representing ideas or basically representing ideas to users. That's my definition for design.
Oh, okay, okay. This time around, I want a female to answer this question because a lot of guys have been asking this question. So, what is design? What do you
Hello.
understand by design?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. Design is the solution to a problem.
Okay.
And in this
Mm,
context, it has to do with the user interface, making sure that the user has ease while using the product.
okay, okay. All right, you're right with that. You're all right with that. So, and again, somebody said, I think there's an echo.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Okay, in a layman's language, a design could be a decorative pattern. It could also mean a plan or drawing produced to show the look and functions of various things. Like in this context, user interface.
Okay.
That's
All
it.
right, all right, all right. Okay, you're right. So let me just give my own definition. So because all what you guys have been saying, you are totally right. Design is what you've been saying. So I'm just going to give my own definition about design. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
All right, all right. And those people,
Yes, you can see your screen.
in the chat section, I can also see your comments. I can see everything. You guys are doing great. So design is a tool set and mindset which give everyone the capacity to solve problems. So design is about solving problem. And we can see design all around us. Starting from the phone we use, down to everything. The clothes we wear, everything we do, all around us, we can see design. And each component you are seeing, they're actually solving a problem. So using your phone, wearing your slippers, wearing your shoe, wearing your clothes, and also anywhere you go, you see design. Design is specifically about solving problem. So some people are saying they can't hear me. I don't know because I don't want anyone to miss out these things. All these things that I've been saying.
Maybe they should refresh their network. I can hear you.
All right, thank you, thank you. So specifically, design is about solving problem. design has a purpose. It has to be function because, for example, now let's assume you're actually trying to do something. I mean, we're in a technological world where uh, you can interact with a lot of digital products. Let's assume you're trying to log into the website and you've input your mail and you know that that is your right. I mean, you've inputted your mail and the product is telling you that the mail is invalid. I mean, you'll be concerned. And if you are trying it all time, you get frustrated and you might not go back to that product. So that is designed to function. You are trying to solve a problem. So I'm going to dive into the next topic, which is what is art itself, because according to the curriculum, they said I should give explanation about the difference between design and art, and that would now dive me into UI. I'm going to go details into UI. So uh, are you fine with that? I mean, I need to get a response from you guys to know that, okay, I'm actually communicating with a lot of people here.
Yes, you're communicating.
Yeah, we're good.
Communicating.
Yeah, thank you. So what is art? Because a lot of people might say, oh, so we have design, then what is art? We have design, what is art? What is the difference? So basically, I got this definition from Google. I was unable to find the perfect definition for art, but I'm just going to explain. So according to Google, they said the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically a visual form, such as painting, sculptures, producing work, and be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotion. So basically, what they are trying to say here is uh, art is just about you being able to pour out emotion. For example, now let me okay, art is I can categorize music as in form of art. If you notice, most of the musicians, if you check their lyrics, most of them pour out their emotion while singing. The same thing with when you check most artists. Somebody I've forgotten this guy name, Shatabondu, that's the guy name, and that's what he used on Twitter. If you check his design, is the imagination of pouring out his expression. He did a design recently about Lagos. I mean, when I saw the design, I mean, I can relate to it. It's about pouring out your emotion, and there is no rule to art. I mean, design, you have a lot of rules by saying, okay, you are actually designing to solve a problem. But for art, you're actually not solving a problem. You're actually pouring out your emotion and bringing in your creativity and your imagination to bring out beauty of something. And design is not just, you are not just doing beauty for design. have to be focusing on the purpose, functionality, and accessibility. These are the key things for design. But for art, I can actually bring out my pen and paper and do something nice and uh follow the visual element rules and be able to come out something nice. And some people might say they'll be like, oh, they have some emotional connection with the design and they like it. So that's the difference between design and art. Design has purpose, and art simply is about pouring out your emotion. I don't know if everyone can hear me because I'm not saying, I mean, I feel what I
Yes,
should.
we are good. We can hear you.
Yes,
Or
all
I
right.
can hear
So,
you.
all right. Yeah,
Yes, I
somebody
can
said
hear
you should
you.
do,
I
yeah,
can hear
somebody
you.
said you should do art with anger, but design, I'm not sure you could be able to do that because design, you are combining a lot of things together because you have to make up some purpose. For example, as a UI designer, you have to design a product that is usable because when your product is not usable, the business is not going to make money and the users are not going to use the product anymore. So let me now I'll be focusing on design, and I just try to give explanation between design and art. So as a designer, you are not an artist. So you are a designer. You're actually designing now that everyone is going into UI design. You want to design a digital product. And what I mean by digital product is not limiting you to apps, websites, or dashboards. I mean all design. If you're able to understand design principles and design elements, you can design for anything. You can design for car, you can design for any machine. So I think let me now move to the next slide. I hope everyone can hear me, and because I don't want anyone to miss out anything here, and I want
Yes,
to,
we can hear
yeah,
you.
all right. So design versus
Yes, we
art.
can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Okay, looking at my side now, you can see design is not art. Design has to function. Art is meant to provoke thought and emotion, but it doesn't solve problem. Artists primarily work of instinct, whereas designer employ a method methodological, data-driven process. So that is why I'm going to dive into design properly now, just to give you full details about the process of design. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard about something about design thinking. Have anyone heard about design thinking before? Design thinking, design thinking. I think you should be seeing that on Twitter. Oh, design thinking, design thinking.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Design thinking simply means
Yes, I heard.
it's a method for you to solve problem in design. So for you to be able to solve a particular problem, you have to follow some method. So you have to follow some method for you to be able to solve problem in design. So I'm going to go into design and give you what makes design itself, what makes design. So as a UI designer, you have to know some few things about design. There are key two things you need to understand as a designer: design elements and design principle. I hope everyone can, I hope everyone get that. Design element and design principle. So what are design elements and what are design simple? So I'm going to move away from design a little bit. Now I want to use the normal terminology of, what people can actually understand, what you guys can understand. So I'm going to use a girl as an example. I'm a guy and I want to approach a girl. Most guys, what do you see first? Before you can approach a girl, before you can, what do you see first? You see a UI, which is the user interface, her look, the way she dress, the way, her shape. These are the things you are seeing. And that is the UI. The same thing with when you are designing a digital product. So for you to be attracted, you have to see some few things. Number one, maybe a skin color, her complexion, and the way she dress. Even the clothes she's wearing, the way she blend these clothes together. Maybe a shoe with a top, or with a skirt, or with a gown. Those things are designs. So I'm just going to give you each element of what actually makes a design. So what actually makes a design? So we have design principle and design elements. So what are design elements? So if you check, if you check around, if you see any design, you must see these elements. Number one is line. I think I'm sorry for that. I think I'm going to share this later on the Slack group. Those design elements, I'm going to share resources attached to them. So I don't have them here at the moment. So I'm going to share them on Slack. So what are those design elements? For every design you see, you must see these elements. Number one, the lines, you must see shape, you must see typography, you must see color, you must see spacing. So I've mentioned 5 things now: the line, shape, typography, color, and spacing. For every design you see, and you must see image. For every design you see, you must see those things. Check around, you see those things. You see typography, you see line, you see shapes, you see spacing, you see image, you see color. These are the basic element of design. Now the next thing is how to use those things. These are the design principle. And design principle are hierarchy, proximity, alignment, consistency. I hope everyone can hear me and get the explanation of, we have design elements and we have design principle. Design element are those things that make up design, and design principle are those things that helps you and guide you to make use of those things properly. We have design elements and we have design principle. So design elements are lines, typography, color, shapes, image, and design principle are alignment, proximity, consistency. I hope everyone can hear me. If you have any question, you
Yes,
can
I
ask
can
me.
hear you.
Yeah, these are the two basic things you need to understand as a designer, as a UI designer. You must understand this thing, because these are the things you use every day. These are the things you see in every design tools. These are the things you see. Oh, some people are saying they can't see my screen. I don't know where the issue is coming from, but you know what? For this slide, I'm going to share it on Slack. So and I'm going to drop my contact app this section, because some people can't hear me, and I'm very open to communicate with those people that can't hear me, and give them feedback and give them a short brief of what I'm saying now. But I feel some people can hear me, some people can't. So let's just continue. So I've mentioned two things, design principle and design elements. So, and I've explained what design element is all about and what design principle is all about. So let me just move to the next thing. The next thing is, before I dive into this, I'm just going to explain some few things. Those elements I just mentioned now, for every design, this principle, maybe you want to become a product designer, you want to become a motion designer, you want to become an illustrator, you want to become any type of designer you want to become, maybe a system designer, you must use all these elements and principles, because these are the things that are going to guide you for you to be able to create good designs. And the next thing I'll be talking about is design inspiration and how to apply them. So there are a lot of design inspirational sites nowadays where you can design. And I'm going to give you a quick fact. Every designer still, I'm going to share a book with you. I don't have it here at the moment. It's called Still Like an Artist. I don't know if anyone have read the book, Still Like an Artist.
Yeah, I have the book. I'm currently reading
Yeah.
it.
Yes, please just read that book. I'm going to share it on Slack so everyone can go through it. Every designer still, fine, when you go on Twitter, now Nigerian Twitter space is very, very, it's there are a lot of you'll be seeing a lot of designers every day like, oh, I did this now, and I think they already have now challenge, new challenge now. I think every month design they'll be dropping their May design, June design. You'll be seeing a lot of designers. You'll be like, how are they creating these things? Am I a fish? Am I a pencil? Am I not creative enough? You'll be asking those questions, and the fact is every designer still. So when you read that book, you're going to understand a lot about how designers steal and how you can get inspiration. And I'm going to give you a quick fact about how to get better as a designer. So for you to get better as a designer, before diving into this topic, I'm just going to give you quick facts about how to get better at designer. So for people that for product designers, UI designers, some of the things you need to do is the process of learning design is you read article every day. You must read article every day. And I don't know, maybe everyone know about Medium. Medium is a platform where it's like a blog platform where you can read anything you want. So read article every day. And the next thing is practice all the time. And a lot of people will tell you that practice, but they don't give you full insight about what exactly you need to do. So how to get better as a designer. All the principles I just mentioned now, you can't understand them by reading alone. You can't understand them. The only way you can understand it is by practicing. So how do you practice? So for example, now, I have some inspirational sites. I'm going to share them with you. I don't know, maybe everyone know about Dribble. I don't know, maybe you've heard about Dribble before. We have Dribble. Let me just drop the link here. I'm just going to look for those sites. We have Dribble. We have Beyonce. So I'm just going to drop the link now so everyone can actually go through it. We have Dribble. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
You
Yeah,
can hear
Yes,
you.
okay.
that's
I
true.
just shared two common inspirational side that we have. Most designers use there. There are a lot. There are a lot. I'm still going to share everything maybe on Slack. There are a lot, but most common one is Dribble and Behance. If you look at Behance and Dribble very well, you'll see some designs that are kind of similar, but they are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. So sorry. Check this inspirational side out. You see a lot of design there. You see a lot of designers. We also have Pinterest here. Thank you. We also have Pinterest. You see a lot of design. So how do you get better as a UI designer? How can you practice to get better? So if you can remember when we were in nursery school, our teachers, they are going to write something at the top of our notes, 1, 2, 3, and they would tell us to rewrite it. Yes, we also have mobbing. Thank you. We also have mobbing. Uh, we have a lot. We have a lot. So our teachers, they will tell us to rewrite those things. That moment, we don't even know our handwriting. Our parents will call us and they would hold our hand and keep, we'll follow the same mark by writing one, A, B, C, the same process for design. What you need to do is go to those inspirational sites, check them. When you see a design that you like, ask yourself, why is this design beautiful? why is this design nice? Why do I like this design? So what you need to do next is you need to replicate this design. I don't know if everyone is familiar with Figma. I mean, that's the standard tool for now. There are a lot of tools out there for designers. We have Adobe XD, we have Figma, we have InVision, we have a lot of UI tools, but I think the best tool at the moment is Figma. Just go on Figma and replicate that same thing and ask yourself, what is this person doing that I'm not doing? Why is this? And I mean, look at those both design. Are they equal? From there, you would understand what that person is doing that you are not doing. That is one of the best way to practice as a designer. I hope everyone can hear me and get that.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, all right. So that's one of the best ways to practice as a designer, as a UI designer. So replicate design as much as you can. For me, what I do is maybe every week I have design challenge. For maybe last week, focusing on dashboard, I just replicate dashboard. Despite that, okay, I still design. I've been working with companies. I try to dedicate that time. I mean, 2 hours a day to replicate design. And the reason why I'm doing that is just for me to get better, because you see new designs almost every day. Design trend, a lot of design trend, and as a UI designer, you have to be updated, because for every design you do, you have to get three rewards. It's either be, oh, this is nice, I think I kind of like it, or wow. So as a UI designer, you have to have that mentality of wow design. So when they see your design, be like, wow, this is really nice. Wow, this is nice. So for you to get better at that, you have to keep practicing every day, every day, every day. And one of the best ways to practice is replicating design, and have a designer that you look up to. For example, maybe on Twitter, there are a lot of designers on Twitter, great designer on Twitter. When you see their design, just copy them, replicate it, replicate it. From there, you would understand exactly what they are doing, and from there, you get your own hand. So that's for that. So there are a lot of design inspiration, like I mentioned. We have Dribble, we have Beyonce, we have, I mean, a lot of people have been dropping. We have Mobean, we have Pinterest, we have a lot. Just go there, and as a designer, don't wait until you have a project to work on. One of the best ways to get inspired every day is, I mean, for you to be very entered as a designer, is check designs every day. Check designs, both good design and bad design. When you see a bad design, ask yourself, why is this design bad? How can I make it better? What can I do to make it better? And from there, just copy the same design that you think that is bad. Redesign it, and look at, oh, I think mine is better. Oh, I think I can do this. I can do this. That is how you can supercharge your creativity. So that's for that. I hope everyone can hear me. And if you have any question concerning that, you can ask if I move to the next thing.
Okay, I have like a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Concerning that replication of designs, can we like when we're replicating design, can we like change some things that will like feel that it will be better for the design, or we should just replicate it as in word for design for design?
Yeah, thank you for that. For design, when I mean replicating design, if you see anything that you think, oh, I think if I can do this, it will be better, do it. At that moment, you are practicing. You can do a lot. If it is just replicating the same design, getting your hands into the design, it's fine. If it is you want to what is it called? You want to improve the design, it's fine. The basic thing there is you improving yourself as a designer, because you need to understand, there are a lot of things you need to understand as a designer. You need to understand typography, because typography connects with emotion. I mean, when you see some designs and see that typography, I mean, you feel connected because everything is working in line with each other. So you be like, oh, this is nice. And you see some design, you be like, oh, the color is blending. Wow, this is really nice. And the same thing, oh, this image you are using is really nice. So because all these elements actually works together, and you need to understand them as a UI designer, the typography, the principle of typography, why should I use typography, this type of typography we have serifs and serif, we have a lot. Colors, you need to understand different type of colors. We have complementary colors. You need to understand those things. So I'm going to share links and where you can get resources on how to learn those things. That's one of the reasons I said reading article. Okay, you can say, oh, I want to study about typography today, study about them. That's one of the best way you can get better as a designer, specifically as a UI designer. Because one thing you should know is everyone can critique design, not everyone can design. Because when you work on a design and it's out there, people say that, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do this? The color is not fine. I mean, the color you are using, typography you are using. So as a designer, for you to get better, you need to study about all these things, because if you understand the basis of each element, you'll be able to come out with great design. you'll be able to come up with great design. So that's for that.
Okay,
So
thanks.
all right, all right. So can I move on?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, all right. So like I said earlier, I said every designer steal, but there's a way you can steal. So I got this
Yes, now you
from
can move on.
yeah, all right. So I got this from yeah, I got this from the book Still Like an Artist. So there's a way you steal. You might not even understand this, but if you read that book, it's going to give you full explanation of how to steal as a designer. So we have the bad thief and we also have the good thief. So as a good thief, you have to honor when you see a design, maybe you replicate a design, you have to honor that person when trying to post it on social media. There are a lot of designers out there that will replicate a design and they won't honor that person that, oh, they actually copied, they got inspiration, they got inspired by so design, and great designers study, and that's one of the reasons why you need to replicate design. So when you replicate design, you need to understand why is this person using this color blue. And now I think when you check most design, you see color blue. Why can't you ask yourself, why can't I, let me use color red, let me use color green, maybe I can still come up with that, I mean, great design like that. So you need to study a lot of designer, and great designers steal from many. You steal from many. You can actually steal from one person. For example, I'm going to use a popular musician, maybe from Olamide. Now when you copy Olamide's tone, the same, I mean, word for word, the style of everything, they will tell you that maybe you are the next Olamide. But if you really want to become a great designer, you steal from a lot of people, maybe Olamide, Whiskey, mix their tone, do a lot of things where you can come up with your own tone. And when people hear from you, they'll be like, oh, this guy is different. So you steal from many. And again, you also credit and you transform. I think a guy asked that time that, oh, what can I do to improve? Can I actually, when I see a design, can we do something to improve on that? It's fine. You transform. You do, you look at the design, you'll be like, oh, what can I do to make this design better? What can I improve in this design? What can I do to adjust some things? Oh, maybe the alignments. Why is this guy using alignment? Now, a lot of people are now, I mean, most designers you'll be seeing now, a lot of designers are now violating design rule. Ask yourself, why are they doing that? And when they violate design rules, they are still coming up with great design. Ask yourself a lot of questions, transform, and again, you remix. Remix is uh and we all really understand you can follow the same tone, maybe for example color, and come up with different type of design. Maybe for example now there's a design, I love the color palette, I love the typography, and they use design on the website. Can I actually use the same thing in a dashboard design? Now, I'm not designing for website, I'm designing for dashboard. Can I use the same style of design in my own dashboard, in my apps? Do the same thing. That's one of the best way you can get better as a UI designer. I hope everyone get that. Yeah, somebody actually mentioned UI refactory at the moment. So these are the UI design books. I'm going to share them with you. I'm trying to create a Google Drive where everyone can have access to it, and it'll be very easy for everyone to go into it and read it. I mean, I have a lot of design UI design books, so I just want to collate everything and send it over. So that's why I don't have it here. So can everyone still hear me? And if you have any question, please ask before I move to the next thing. I don't just want to be talking. I want you guys to be able to flow with me.
We
Yes,
can
sir, we
hear
can
you,
hear
sir.
you.
All right.
I can hear you.
All right. So what are the qualities of good designs? For you to be able to say this design is actually cool, this design is cool, this design is nice. So it has some qualities. Design needs to understand the business. I mean, one of my favorite brand at the moment is Abeg App. I don't know if everyone know about Abeg App. I'm still looking for the designer behind those their social media designs. I
Yeah, we
mean,
know big up.
is
Fine,
the
big
brand,
up.
yeah, Abeg App. You can see when you look at their design, there's always this emotional connection. I mean, for me, when I look at their design, and the brand goal is to create a fun. I think I can't remember their brand statement, their brand goal statement, but the goal is their target audience are youth, maybe from age 18 to 30. So they are actually focusing on that. So if you look at the way they work on their design, when I look at their design, I used to like, wow, this design is great because design is actually connecting directly to the right users. So and great design actually creates values. Great design creates values, and great design measure impact. For example, now I'm going to use what's the name of this brand as an example. What's this name of this common saving app? We have Cowrywise, we have this other.
Kuda.
No,
Kuda.
yeah,
Piggyvest. Piggyvest.
Piggy
yeah,
vest, piggy
Piggyvest, yeah,
vest.
yes, Piggyvest. when when Piggyvest started building their product, when a lot of people started using and now a lot of people are now saving more on Piggyvest. A lot of people are now cultivating the habit of saving. For me, as an example, now I'll use Cowrywise. For example, now I receive my payment, my salary with Cowrywise, and it has been splitted. Oh, this is going for saving, this is going for this. From there, I've been able to cultivate the habit of saving, and the product is having impact. So you can see that that is one of the great reasons of design. You have to, for great design, it must have impact. It must be able to measure impact and must be able to create values. And why are all these companies making money, becoming unicorn? For example, at Flutterwave, these companies are making a lot of impact from their design, the product they are building. So now, uh, Flutterwave now is now worth billion because these companies are actually making, yeah, Paystack as well. They are creating value, creating value, creating. So that's one of the great things as a designer you need to understand. So this design I'm actually creating, that's one of the reasons why design is actually different from art. This design I'm working on, how can I create value from it? How can I create impact? So, and like I said, design is about solving problems. So most of the design you see out there, they're actually solving problem. The dashboard you see, for example, now when you're designing for a fintech, you maybe fintech on e-commerce, you'll be able to see number of transactions. It's very detailed. You'll be able to see analytics of how your business is doing today versus how your business is doing yesterday. Those things are creating value because, for example, now I'm currently designing for commerce brand. The dashboard, there are a lot of research. If it's just I just want to create something very nice, maybe it's art, I won't be really bothered about the users. I just want to make sure the thing is, the whole design is beautiful. But when I was working on design, I had to carry out multiple research, try to get merchant feedbacks, try to know what they want to see on the dashboard. You're able to see the number of transactions they're having, the number of the amount they're making that day, how can they improve on their business. So getting those things can somebody is can you please mute your mic? Who is that? All right, I think yeah. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
We
Yeah,
can
all
hear
right.
you.
Yeah,
Yes, we
all
can
right.
hear you.
So yeah, design is about solving because you're actually solving problem from set of for a particular set of people. Because as a designer, there are a lot of things. I don't want to go in depth, but I just want to give you the surface of what design is all about. Because as a designer, you have to design for a reason. So why am I putting this button here? Why should I do this? Why should I have this kind of hero section? Is this design communicating with the kind of design I want? So I think let me just make this practical and I'll dive into my studio where studio is just a platform where is a place in my Figma where I design most of the design I work on. I'm just going to show you guys now. Can you see my screen? Can you see my Figma design page? All
Yes.
right, can everyone see
Yes,
that?
yes, we can.
So I have a lot
Yeah, I
of
can
design.
see.
So you can see these are designs that I work on every day. These are my personal designs that maybe anytime I get inspired, I work on design. I just come into Figma, just work on design. So I'm just going to use this design as an example. I think I did this recently. I'm just going to showcase it. So it's still loading. So while waiting for that, okay. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes, I can
Yes.
see the screen.
All right,
Yeah, we
so
can see the
this is
scheme.
a design I did recently, and I was inspired by I saw a website and I was like, oh, this is not nice enough. What can I do to make this better? And how can I make it more interactive? And how can I just wanted to explore and do a lot of things. That's one of the ways you can get better as a designer. When you see a website and you replicate the design, you try to make sure that what can I do to make it better. So I did this. So I'm going to show more designs just to show you that okay, as a designer. What?
Please, I want to ask one question.
All right.
Okay, please, can you go back to that prototype?
All right. Okay, can you see my
Okay,
screen now?
yes, I can see it. Now this this element that is in motion,
Yeah.
this element in motion, is the work of which designer?
I've forgotten the name, but I saw it on Dribble. Yeah.
No, like this element in motion, this thing that is rolling. This
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's on. I think I've forgotten the name of the designer.
He's trying to say,
so it's
is
the work
it
of what
for
designer?
a
Is it supposed to be the
designer
motion
or a
designer?
motion designer?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, is it
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. So it's a work of a motion designer. So
okay?
motion designer, maybe slash 3D design, because every element you are saying here, it's 3D design. So
Okay. Thank you,
all
sir.
right, so I'm just going to dive into other things. So this is where I just come up with designs, different type of designs. I just work on them and drop them here. Anytime I feel like posting them, I post them. Anytime I don't feel like, I just leave it there. So as a UI designer, one of the best way you can get better is you need to replicate designs a lot. And also, I think let me just let me give you a sample. I did a design recently, and I'll show you I got inspired about this design. So I think the design is here. So, all right. So can you see my screen now? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
All right. So I saw this icon. This design is not for me. I saw this design somewhere, and I really like the style. So, and I was like, oh, what can I do to make this design better? What can I do? And I started experimenting, and I did this. Now you see that there are two different things now you are saying. Can everyone hear me? Okay, let me just put it out. Let me just be
Yes, we
this very.
can.
All
Yes,
right.
we
Okay, I
can.
just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. I mean, all right. So you can see that I have two different designs now. I mean, inspired by design here, this design here, and I did this. Sorry, and I did this. You can see that it's now two different design. I was inspired by this element here. I didn't use the same thing. I was like, oh, how can I do to make this design better? What can I do to make this design better? And I started brainstorming, I started sketching to make sure that, oh, how can I come up with great design? So that's one of the reasons why you need to practice as a designer. You just have to practice. Because now I think you guys need to practice a lot, because when you start working full time as a designer, you have less time to practice. So for me now, what I do is every morning from 7 to 9, what I do is just practice. Then 9, I can start my day working with other companies I'm working with, because for you to be a great designer, you don't just want to become a one-time designer where, oh, all your style are always the same. You have to make sure that you work on different design, you work on different styles to make sure that everything is nice. And because every time you work with a company, you have to wow them as a UI designer. And every design you are working with has its own purpose. So, and that would bring me back to, okay, let me just go back to this. This will bring me back to this. So this design you are seeing here, I was actually checking LinkedIn and I saw their website, and I was like, oh, this design is not, I mean, the website is not cool enough. Because what I do is anytime I visit the website and the website is not cool enough, I redesign it myself. I say, okay, this is what I want to see, not what they are showing me. So they might have good products. Because I'm a designer, I'll just have to redesign it. And what I'll do is I'll look for the recruiter in that company. I'll send it to them that, okay, what do you think about this? And I redesign this. That's one of the ways you can get better as designer and get connections and also get job, because since you guys are starting out, getting job will be, I mean, it's not going to be easy. So one of the best way to get attraction is when you visit a particular product and you think this design is not good enough, so I can do something better. So the next thing you're supposed to do is redesign it. You redesign the site. So that is why this will bring back to understand the business, create value, and measure impact. All right, so that's for that. So I'm just going to move to the next slide. All right, so I think, sorry. Oh, I think for the slide, that's all. So I want this class to be practical. I just want to give you the brief of everything. So I just want it to be practical enough where we can interact, we can ask a lot of questions about UI designs, what it entails. Because all these slides is just me talking. I want you guys to ask a lot of questions about UI design and any question about UI design, what you need to do, what you need to know, what you need to understand as a UI designer, what are the things you need to do to get better, what are the things you need to do every day as a UI designer to get better. So basically, I think that's all. So like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Mousmover, on LinkedIn, my name Abdurrahim Abdusabu, and my Gmail. If you have any question, you can reach out to me, and I'm very open to answer. So that's all for me. Hello, can everyone hear me?
I
Yes,
can
I
hear
can.
you.
Yes, we can.
Sure, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
So I think this
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, all right, all right. So I feel all this that I'm showcasing now is just me saying I want to hear from you guys. Ask a lot of questions about UI design because I know getting into a new space in tech is always like you have a lot to learn. To be sincere, you have a lot to really get some understanding about some few things. You'll be able to come up with great things, especially in design. Understanding the basics of design is one of the greatest things you should. I mean, one of the greatest things I've done. Me trying to understand the space and understanding design because I've been able to work with closely with maybe motion designers, illustrators, because I've been able to understand the basis of design. So when I'm working with illustrators or motion designers or 3D designers, I mean, the communication is always smooth and very fine. And when we are working on projects, it's always kind of sweet. So uh, there are a lot to learn as a UI designer, like I said earlier. But one of the best way you can get better is by practicing reading every day, reading article, because these are the things I do every day, reading article, uh, practicing. Figma should be your friend because that's one of the greatest tools ever for now. Figma should be your friend and collaborate with.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
I can't find your name on Twitter.
Oh, okay, on Twitter. So maybe I'll share the link with you guys. I'll just going to share the link with you guys. So you can message me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. So as I was saying, as a designer, for you to get better, specifically for UI design, because now we are actually focusing on UI design, um, you need to practice a lot, practicing a lot, because and you also need to train a lot of things. For example, you need to train your eye, because when you see a good design, you know that this design is great. So then you ask yourself, why is this design great? You must be able to split those things, and also when you see a bad design, you must be able to say this design is bad. So what can I do to make this design better? And don't forget, design is about solving problem. Design is about solving problem. You look at, oh, what can I do to have an impact in this design? So and for you to be valued as a great designer, you have to create impact. So when you see a lot of Twitter designers that we have, you see they post their work and their product is live. A lot of users are using it, and users are enjoying it. That's the joy for every product designer or UI designer. So that's all from me. Once again, my name is Abdurrahim and Absobu. Mostly people call me Mouse Mover, and that's all from my end. If you have any question, please ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Um,
you so much. I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, this has been really good. I wanted to ask, do UI designers have a niche? Like, do they pick a niche that they work with? So, I mean, like, do you get to pick, okay, I work in fintech, I work in edutech, like, this is where I thrive the most, so I'm going to stick with this. I work with food companies, food apps. Do they get to do that?
Yes, yes, yes. There are some designers you see them. The only jobs they have, I mean, apply for is maybe e-commerce, fintech. Now you can see we are already having Web3 designers. Simply means they're actually focusing Web3. They are the design for Web3. So as a UI designer, you can decide to say, oh, I only want to focus on e-commerce. I want to focus on fintech. I mean, we already have a lot of designers in fintech, but one advice I will give you guys is for you to be I mean, for you to become a good designer, explore all space, explore all space to see, oh, how can I be a good designer in this? area, how can I design better in this area, how can I use my skill? And every process of design is still the same. Every process of design thinking, every process is still the same. It's just the way you solve a problem that differs. So you can actually decide to stick into particular ecosystem. Maybe it's fintech, maybe it's e-commerce, maybe it's food delivery, maybe it's blockchain. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
No